the right of the door, on the very bottom.
Yeah, a bottle of wine lasting since October, I find very impressive. Like, if I could get a bottle of wine to last in the house for a week, that would be like.
Yeah. I think I just drink a lot more when I'm out. Hold on a minute. I have to get back to it because I don't want to.
And I just don't go
it's
out.
so lovely. Pomegranate dry. It's a dry rosé. We could turn this into a wine Wednesday right now. 52% Merlot, 22% Cab Sauv, 20% Cabernet Franc, and 6% Pinot Noir. Hey!
Why am I so pale and you're so yellow? Hold on. I mean, yellow in a good way, like tan. I meant tan, not yellow.
I live in Las Vegas, and I'm always in the fucking sun.
Shit. Just unplug
It offers a fresh, bright aromas of cranberry, strawberry, and apple, light to medium body with a dry finish. Thanks. And then, if you can get Serena out of my room and shut that door, because she's a jerk. Get out, Serena.
There we go. Okay, I made my light a little more yellow.
Hey! Cut your shit. You need to stop.
I like that you both have dogs.
Yeah, my dog's being a jerk right now, though.
Yeah, my cat won't stop meowing. We love us just so much.
My dog is a jerk.
All right. Okay. I don't want to be so. I don't like being bigger than you. So I'm gonna back up.
I mean, I can move closer. I was just trying to get the background too.
No, I like your background as well. Okay. Let's breathe. 7 blessings and welcome to our second episode of Fire and Wine, a chat between 2 cosplay queens.
Good evening, little doves, and cheers. Let's get into it.
Yes, let's get into it. I love that. Okay, so last night was the premiere of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I thought it was really wonderful. It was quite different from the original series.
Very much different. And I love that. It's definitely not the same vibe. It's not the royal houses like we said last week. It's not royalty, nobility. It's kind of like the darker, maybe underbelly, more common people, I was watching last night and my friend Zach was sitting next to me and he said, wow, this is like a breath of fresh air because it's not the other 2 shows that we have. Like, this is something completely different.
Heavy. It's
not so
stakes.
Rich royalty. Yeah. So that was a very cool comment from.
Shout out to Zach.
Shout out to Zach.
I think it's also just like a different tone. Like, not only is the subject matter different, but the type of comedy. I mean, the first thing that really struck me was, we're all expecting it to have the same theme music. Maybe I'll enter the tourney at Ashford. And it goes da 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 da, and then he starts shitting.
Yep, I caught that and I was like, "Oh, okay,
it's
fun.
Crass, it's crude, it's direct."
Yeah.
Like, even I'm thinking of the first episode of season 8 of Game of Thrones, it's the first episode of season 8, I think. And Sam is at the Citadel, and
Samwell.
Thank you. I just saw Lord of the Rings in theaters over the weekend.
We're on fandom.
So Samwell is in the Citadel, and he's having to clean out food pots and shit pots at the same time. And it almost becomes like a melodic poem, the way they edited it. And I think that it was to illustrate, the monotony of being a novice and, of having to do like that kind of work. But this was just like, bam, in your face, shitting in the tree.
Yep. You're not getting that Game of Thrones theme.
Yeah, it was like it was almost trolling us. It was trolling us.
100%.
I love, because I was like, looking on Facebook, and before the episode came out, and somebody's like, honestly, as long as it has the Game of Thrones theme, I'm into it. We're like, psych.
Yeah. Little tease. Just kidding. How it felt.
It's like kind of like a folksy whistle tune. Like, I don't even know if there is a song because I didn't even see like titles at any point.
There wasn't. Maybe the next episode. I feel like sometimes they do that where the first episode won't have the credits and the opening, and then maybe the next episode.
100%. But
We're
there
only
was
getting
silly kind of folksy song.
Yeah,
and, like,
it felt very Shire, which is probably why you. What's that?
Yeah,
Felt like we were in the Shire.
a lot of humor, a lot of grit, and then there were a lot of flashbacks, even from the first scene.
Right, which I loved the way they just like, oh, I only got beat when I deserved it. Bam, we're just going real quick. Bam, 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 bam. Back. I thought that was very well done. Like good editing, quick, fun, lighthearted. We're only getting 30-minute episodes, so they gotta like.
It's quick and dirty.
Yeah.
And I think one thing about all of the flashbacks, because it's all flashbacks to when to Dunk when he's talking about his time with Sir Arlen.
Mm-hmm.
Arlen? It's Arlen.
Arlen Pennytree.
Pennytree. So it's like all the flashbacks are obviously to his time with Sir Arlen when he's younger.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost feel like Dunk kind of like still thinks he's a kid.
Yeah, a little bit. I feel like he's written a little. I'm trying to think of how to like appropriately word this. He's written a little.
He's been treated like he's still a child.
Right.
So he kind of thinks he still is a child. And he knows he's a big person.
Right.
But the first thing he says to the guy after he buries him, the first thing that like his mind goes to is, you only beat me when I deserved it. That's like, I don't know, that's daddy issues.
Yeah. Yeah. A little bit.
That's like me being like, oh, just boss, please don't yell at me. It's like daddy issues.
I'm going with Sir Duncan the Tall instead of Sir Duncan of somewhere or Sir Duncan, my last name, you know?
Well, he's an orphan, so he might not even have a last name.
Right.
But it's the moment when he's thinking about that. So the whole time, just like how I said, he's still kind of seems like a kid. He's introducing himself as Dunk. I'm Dunk. And that's like, you know, my little brother introducing himself as Tommy, mm-hmm. until one day he kind of decided, no, I'm not Tommy anymore. I'm mm-hmm. And so I really think that Dunk hasn't like embraced like that he's like an individual adult. Yeah. Like he thought that Sir Arlen was going to be there forever. So.
Right. And even Egg was like, is that Trevor Duncan? Like,
yeah.
Well.
And then when he's trying to get into the lists, the guy's like, are you sure that's your name? And then when he meets Lionel, he's like, you're joking, right? And so it's when he sees Egg at the fireplace and he goes, I'm Dunk. Actually, no, I'm Sir Duncan the Tall. Like he's like just finally realized like, oh, calling myself Dunk's not going to work anymore because everyone who I've told that name to so far has made fun of me. Right. Absolutely. So good. Another thing from the first scene when he's burying Arlen, he goes right to the horses, and the horses are sassy. Like, you know, I don't know if that's how is that way in the books? Like they make the horses kind of have. I mean, they don't really give them like point of views or anything. It's just like this was the war horse and this was this horse, and he talks about them, but there's never like a. And then the horse, not like Nymeria in the first Game of Thrones books, where like she clearly has a personality that mirrors her. Right. So I don't like in the series, they're really like editing it. Like he goes, "Oh well, maybe I should do this," and they're like, "Yeah." And I mean, this book is only 181 pages long. So, and there's a lot of like illustrations in it. So the actual content isn't that long. So I was kind of surprised that we got as far as we did already in one episode, but they also like fleshed out so much. And one of my favorite scenes was the scene with, I'm jumping a little ahead, but one of my favorite scenes was the scene in the Baratheon tent, which wasn't even wasn't even in the book at all. Like he sees Sir Lionel from afar. Like there's never an interaction in the book. So I like that they kind of fleshed that out. I love that he is a straight up Baratheon. He is drunk and belligerent, and Robert's definitely bloodline. The crown, that fucking helmet crown. Oh my God. I was like, whoa. When they're walking up to the tent, you can see it's adorned with antlers. And then when you're inside, there's like a chandelier of antlers. And then when he goes up to talk to Lionel. He even has like an antler like dagger with like an antler pummel dagger. So like they're all out on the antler.
Great attention to detail. Those little details make it like so good.
Honestly, Lionel Baratheon, I think, was everybody's favorite character from that. Like, I don't obviously upset from the two main characters.
He looked a little like Peter Dinklage to me. I'm like, why does he look like he could be related to Tyrion? He looks
the pointy beard.
Yeah. The face, just everything. I was like,
And
weird.
just like the drunken, like swagger and arrogance.
Yeah.
I was getting a little bit of an Oberyn vibe, to be honest. I know that there was no like bisexuality or polyamory suggested, but like just his lust for life. I feel like he's like 2 Hennessy shots away from bisexual. He's like, it's like Oberyn before he discovered he was bisexual.
Right. And also a little like book accurate Renly. Giving me a little book accurate Renly vibes too, which is pretty cool because again, same bloodline. Like they're really doing a good job of keeping it in the family. Debauchery.
When they're dancing, I noticed even the costume is like it's not a skirt, but it's kind of like a flap that when he turns, it's like a skirt.
Yeah.
And I loved the scene where he was like trying to like step on Dunk's feet because it really made me think of, okay, and this is like a bit of a stretch, but I've seen a couple different TV shows. I'm thinking of The Tudors, where there's a king who, like, even when he plays chess, people let him win. And he just wants somebody to challenge him because he's a good fighter and he wants a worthy opponent to actually give him a challenge. And I think that this almost is kind of like establishing a little bit of like a relationship between them that like for somebody who's going to like go to the joust and actually like joust him and not just like forfeit or intentionally lose because he doesn't want to insult the Lord. And I see that in Dunk when he like steps on his foot and the guy's like, wait, what the fuck? You actually stepped on my foot? And he's like, yeah, bitch. Yeah. So I thought it was really fun. And then he was wearing his crown. I felt like that was a little blasphemous, but he seemed cool with it.
He seemed cool with it. And he was like, he said, I'm quite drunk.
Okay, so I have a couple of quotes from that scene. So Lionel Baratheon had a thought, and he was talking about how right outside of this tent is where they first had like some games, and they said this was the country's first joust. Do you think he meant like that region or like actually Westeros? Is that something they touch on in the book? Probably not.
Well, it couldn't have been Westeros because they have jousts and tourneys in House of the Dragon. 80 years prior. So I think it meant Ashford, like Ashford's first joust.
I don't think it was this place's first joust, but he said like 5,000 years ago, they first like fought each other with sticks outside for fun. And that was the first games of this country. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
For future. And then he says 100 gold to the man, beast, or god who sticks me best. I don't know why I thought that was fun.
Well,
and he calls Dunk over and he says, is that why you slouch? Because you don't want to get punched in the face. And this hit me because when I was in acting school, there were a couple tall, kind of lanky guys in the class, and we had these movement classes. And I'll never forget this. The guy says, like, own the space above you. Nobody else owns that space. So if you're trying to like cower because you don't want to take up space, because like, you know, like you're like, I think a lot of tall people do that when they're growing up. Like they feel uncomfortable that they're tall. People are always commenting that they're tall, so they slouch. Blah, blah. But I loved that. That always stuck with me. They said, own the space above you, because literally nobody else can take up that space. So if you don't take up that space, nobody else will.
So and I'm going to remember that because I am a tall person. I'm 5, almost 10. And I definitely always slouch. Like when I sit and when I stand like kind of like.
And it's not because you have
like I sit on one hip kind of just to try to like bring myself down. I 1000% do it all the time.
Own the space above you, because nobody can take that away from you and nobody else can own it. Nobody else, somebody standing next to you can't take that space up. So own the space above you.
More often than not, they can't. I'm taller than everybody.
The 7 above gave you tallness. So be tall.
Utah.
And
Thank
the
you. I'm
fact
gonna
that these
remember
are
that.
all like lines that this is all to the specific to the show, because like you're
Yeah.
saying that it wasn't in the book.
Right.
Okay, and then he asks him, if you wish to curry my favor. I'm gonna say that again. So then Lionel asks Dunk, if you wish to curry my favor, how did you not bring me a gift?
Mhm.
And I think that this is just another example of how naive and kind of pure Dunk is, because it
Mhm.
never occurred to him. Like, in today's world, yeah, sure. If you're showing up to some sort of business event and
Mhm.
there's somebody there who can help you land a deal, yeah, you're gonna bring them a nice fucking bottle of champagne or something,
Right.
or you're gonna be like, oh, you gotta come to the golf course with me tomorrow. Like, you're gonna come with something in hand,
Right.
because I scratch your back, you scratch my back. But
Right.
Dunk is so pure that he's like, oh well, I need to earn my place in the
Even if I
tournament.
invite you over to my house for dinner, you better be showing up with a bottle of Cabernet.
But I don't think that
And
he
I'm
didn't.
nobody, but I get what you're saying totally.
Yeah, it's just that he didn't think that
Right.
knights could be. He didn't think that lords could be bought.
Right. Right.
So that was cute.
And like this whole episode is basically him just going and trying to find someone who will vouch for him, because you can't enter the tourney if someone doesn't vouch for you. Because he was knighted, he still needs someone.
But I think it's also him like thinking that, not thinking that he can ride on Arlen's coattails, but just believing that um the the acts of bravery of Arlen were enough. Like he
Yeah.
says to Dundarian, like, don't you remember my master was like, he took an injury for your thing, and he's like,
Mhm.
yeah, you and 700 other knights.
Right.
So he really kind of has this naive belief that, like, if you do good,
Mhm.
good will come to you. And,
Right.
oh, well, my master did this for your house, so of course in return this house will turn. Like,
Right.
like I feel like
Yeah.
that, I can't think of an exact example, but like that's like, if I get if I do a favor for one of my buyers, then the next time that I need a favor, they'll scratch my back. And it's like, nope, sorry, doesn't help me. Fuck
Right.
off.
Right. Absolutely.
So I'm gonna go up a little bit. So when we first, and in the beginning, after he buries Sir Arlen, we've
Mhm.
got the stable. The stable
Right.
on the inn scene where we
Yeah.
first meet Egg.
Yes.
And he goes to the innkeeper and everybody's at the joust. There's literally nobody there besides Egg and this barfly who just wakes up and says, I dreamed of you. It's so weird.
Mhm.
But my second watch, I noticed that he kind of had fine clothes. And I
Mhm.
saw that Dunk actually says to him, my lord, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. So somehow this guy is like visibly, not a farmer.
Right.
And must have enough money to sit there and have a bar tab running. And he's clearly staying at the place long enough for the lady to be like, oh, don't mind him. Like
Right.
he's a regular there or something. But I didn't know what that was about. It seemed important.
Stay tuned. I know who he is. Keep watching. You'll know by the end of the season.
I loved this line from the innkeeper. And I can't help but think that it was kind of a little bit poignant for today's
I know exactly what you're gonna say, because I caught it too, and I was like, "Oh!"
I never knew a joust to
To
change
increase the price of eggs.
eggs.
Change the price of eggs. Yep.
It's like, yeah, no matter who wins the Super Bowl, babe, eggs are still gonna be expensive. And then I thought the only thing that changes the price of eggs is Taylor Swift. Do you remember that? It was like a year ago or something, and she complained that okay,
sorry, I'm gonna get
anecdote.
canceled because I don't like her.
I don't either, to be honest, but we can't say that here.
No, well, we could say to each other, you can edit this out. But other people have promised to change the price of eggs, and it's been a year and they're not changed. So can edit that out too.
I think they're a little less, but that's just because bird flu's over. Moving on.
Anyway.
So we go outside and Egg is on top of Dunk's horse, pretending to be like in battle or something.
Yeah.
And it's so insolent. And I think it's interesting because he like in the next breath, he asks him to be a squire. So like,
Mhm.
why is this kid being so insolent? Like even after he catches him, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you." And then he's like, bitch, I could ride as well as you. You don't look like a knight." Like he's just got some insolence in him.
Yeah.
And I think Dunk finds it charming in a way because we did learn from like the first minute of the show that
Mhm.
Dunk definitely earned some slaps in the face and
Yeah.
clouts,
A
as he
clout,
called
clout
them.
in the air, clout in the air.
What the hell? I turned you off. Did you hear that? It just
Clout
came
in the
out of
air, clout in the air, clout in the air, clout in the air. Make me a song.
I will. Um, so it's like Dunk, I guess, kind of like doing something that's like kind of offensive and insolent, but then at the same time, within like the same breath, he
Yeah.
brings up they discover that they're both orphans, and all of a
Mhm.
sudden Dunk kind of like gets nostalgic.
Right.
So I think that Dunk like, wants to be tough and like has this idea of being like, a knight and he's tough. But then like as soon as he brings up that he's an orphan, he like gets all nostalgic and kind of emo.
Pulled at his heartstrings.
Yeah. So I think that even though Egg is a little insolent, he also has a way of kind of pulling on people's heartstrings, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's not the first and that's not the only time we see that.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, do you know what the sigil on the shield that Dunk carries represents?
Of course I do. It is a silver winged chalice on a brown background, and it is Arlen Pennytree's sigil for House Pennytree.
That was my second question. So Pennytree is a house. Where is it?
I don't know.
All right, the next segment I'm going to do is going to
I don't
have
remember
like
if
maps.
I don't remember if they actually told us where it is, but it's House Pennytree. It's his sigil. It's a winged chalice on a brown background.
Chalice, like, hey.
Hey.
um. See, I really only thought that people of nobility had sigils.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
like
he's still
okay, even the Mormonts, they have a sigil. They might not have a lot of money,
right.
but they're an old house.
Right.
Even when he goes to the Master of Games, the Master of Games acted like he didn't know who.
Yeah.
He never heard of it before. So I thought it was.
Yeah, it might have just been Arlen made it up himself also.
Ooh. See, then he said this is his penny and his sword hilt. Like, is that a thing?
His penny and his sword hilt. I don't remember that being in the book. But he definitely might have just like made the sigil when he became a hedge knight. And
yeah, because I was gonna say if he has a penny
like
his sword hilt, and then in the movie he just named himself Pennytree or something. I don't
right,
know.
probably. Wait another episode. It's hard. It's hard reading and like knowing what's coming because I can't say anything. No. I'm just like,
you're really good at no spoilers. I like it.
Yeah, because I'm not a jerk.
So pale. This is like embarrassing.
I'm not a bloody cunt, as it were. Hello.
Speaking of bloody cunts, when we arrive to Ashford, we see some people that like
the whole
so nice. Like it's not like all puppies and kitties when he arrives there.
Right.
First of all, it's not a big bustling city like Lannisport or Bravos or King's Landing. Like they don't even have like a market square. And from what I can tell, the jousts being set up outside of the town limits. So it's like a little town.
Yeah.
But
we haven't even heard of it in the other shows. They haven't even mentioned this house in the other shows or like this town.
Oh, no.
So.
Well, Ashford is, I think they're in the Reach, right?
I think so.
Yeah, they say, the guy says we're in the Reach, and that's probably why the Baratheons are there, because the Baratheons are the Lords of the Reach. And other than when they go to Renly's camp, and when House of the
Lionel Baratheon. Oh wait, are you talking about House of the Game of Thrones?
Yeah, no, I'm saying like we haven't spent much time in the Reach. We've spent like
sorry.
So that's probably why we hadn't heard of Ashford. Like we might have heard of like what's the name of the last hearth before you go to North? Last Hearth. Like that's like we've heard of things that we pass on in the North. We've heard of things that we pass like close to King's Landing, but we haven't spent that much time in the Reach other than when we went to Renly's camp. And when at the end of House of Dragon season 1, they sent the youngest. Oh, yeah. So yeah, that's probably why we don't know much about the Reach, because we haven't spent much time there.
We really need a Robert's Rebellion spinoff, and it seems that every time Joffrey talks about something, we get a little show about it. So
every time Joffrey talks about something?
Yeah. Joffrey mentions Rhaenyra and her story, and Joffrey read through the book and talks about Sir Duncan the Tall. That's the spinoffs we're getting. We're getting the spinoffs that Joffrey mentions.
Yeah, no, I really thought Robert's Rebellion was gonna be the first spinoff, but I think they just are having trouble finding the right person to play Robert. Because
how do you replace?
Yes, but I mean, young Robert. He's got to be big. He's got to be like, even the guy playing Lionel. Like, he's great as like a sex symbol, but I don't know if he could wield the hammer.
Right. Also, Aegon's Conquest. Can we please get Henry Cavill? That's who we need. Done. Game over. End of story.
Yeah. Dude, we already know he can do light hair. We already know from The Witcher.
I think The Witcher's hotter than Superman. So yeah, let's have that. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Sorry, sidetrack.
Oh, so then we have Peter Claffey bathing in the water.
It's HBO. We needed some gratuitous nudity, obviously.
Although I will say, I think it could have been a little more gratuitous. It was a wide shot. I mean, like, he was like this big,
right?
This wide shot, and then when he's like, I might have watched it a couple times. I don't know. And then when he's like banging his clothes, and like he gets to see his ass cheek a little bit, and then they go like the front medium shot. And when the second time I was watching it, all I could think was, I could use a little more hair. I could use a little more chest hair. I like a hairy chest, and this was very minimal. Like, it looked like he waxed 2 weeks ago. So I'm gonna send Peter Claffey and the showrunners my note on that, so that maybe they can fix that for the second season. I think that would really help. How about when he goes and sees the whores in the tent, and they're painting one of them up like they're dead?
Oh
she
yeah.
wakes up and says something, and he's like freaking out, and it's like he's so pure and naive that he doesn't realize that they are painting this girl up to look like she's dead, so because somebody's got a kink. Am I wrong?
Yeah. It's pretty much what it is. There were no horrors in the book, mind you. This wasn't a book thing, but you have to have horrors in Westeros. Again, it's HBO. We need that gratuitous.
And I mean, small folk deal with horrors. And what I like about these horrors, and all of the horrors really, is that they cater to small folk and kings alike. Obviously, when the kings are around, they hang out with the kings, and like the Dondarrion guy, like they've got like chairs to themselves. They're like, making fun of people, like, because I don't know, it's like they're like the groupies. So like when there's a concert happening, groupies are the stars, other than the stars themselves.
Right.
But
of course.
when the concert's over, the groupies kind of go back to their sad lives.
Yeah.
Another female character, which I saw like from what I read, I'm going to start that over. Another female character who is not a big part in the book, from what I understand, I think is going to have a bigger part in this season from the clips I've seen. And that would be the puppeteer chick.
Console. Not a huge part in the book where she has a lot of scenes, but her part of the story is extremely impactful and extremely important. So there's not a lot of scenes with her, but like her character sets the major events of this show in motion.
Shout out to HBO, the casting team, and the showrunners for casting some people of color in these characters. I think that's really important, and I appreciate that. We didn't see a lot of that.
And they all look fabulous, of course. They all look fabulous and did a great job, and we need that, of course.
But they do look fabulous. So speaking of the puppeteer, on my second watch, I was paying a little more attention to the story she was telling, so I'm going to read the quote.
Okay.
Our brave hero forges on, leaving all he knows behind. A father and a friend may seem the world unkind. Fate has set his lonely path through corridors of chance. A boy from nothing risks it all, ignoring looks askance. So already I feel like this is like a little bit of like foreshadowing, or kind of,
Foreshadowing. Mhm.
it's a little bit mirroring his story. But
You're
then
right.
perhaps he's only stupid holding fast his mirror shield. Great honor his ambition must keep a truth concealed. For if his humble shape is bared, a foul and fiery demise, should the dragon discover none but a man in great disguise. What story are they telling?
Uh,
I'll give you a hint. Shireen talks about it.
God. Or Shireen, that's no. I got
Okay,
nothing.
so Shireen, when she was talking to Sir Davos about the books that she likes to read, she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're gonna love this one. It's about how Sir Byron Swan attempted to kill the dragon Vagar by polishing his shield for a week to make it look like a."
Right.
I only caught that on my second, and I
Okay.
did have to Google the answer for that.
I
So.
only watched it once, so.
No, I know you're not, you're at a disadvantage. That's not fair. You also have a job. Okay, and then the next thing I have here is oh, what's the name of the Fossaway guy?
There's two.
Mm-hmm.
They're cousins.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta look at that.
It's okay.
We're gonna edit this. Tell me, and then I'll give you the answer, and you can edit that
Raymond
right.
Fossaway. Raymond Fossaway. He comes to him and he goes, "Half man, half man." So I love that callback. It was kind of like talking about, like, it made me think of Tyrion, obviously, because they called him that.
Right.
And then he goes, "Oh, because you're half man, half giant." Also, the Fossaways, the apple puns. He's rotten to the core.
Yep.
He's the highest apple on the tree.
Mhm.
This apple,
Not ripe yet. Not ripe yet.
Did they do that the whole time? That's
To be
great.
continued.
Okay, so
There's more.
talking about the Fossaways, I was trying to like think of like predictions.
Mhm.
And I was thinking, okay, so Dondarrion.
You haven't read or have no spoilers on what this. Okay.
No, so this is not a spoiler. This is just Christine's predictions.
And I'm gonna shut up.
So, since we already know that Dondarrion kind of turned him down for vouching for him, he's got two other knights that we've met so far who could potentially vouch for him. Not that he's asked to. Lionel, who's drunk, but definitely seemed to like him. But then the Raymond Fossaway's cousin, I almost have a feeling, because Raymond's like, he just likes to beat guys up. Like, he just wants, you look like a good challenger. I almost feel like the Fossaway cousin would vouch for him just because he wants to, because he's like, oh, that guy's stupid. I bet I could beat him up. And since he's taller than me, I'd look really cool for beating him up. So that's my prediction. One of those two guys might. I'm going to go with the Fossaway guy is the one that vouches for him, because Lionel's too drunk to care.
Right. Well, see. No spoilers.
And then we end up back to camp. And there's Egg. I think there's got to be something to be said. I
stowed away, and now I'm with you. Haha. I said, surprise, I stowed away, and now I'm with you. Haha.
Well, I kind of, at first, when he was leaving that little inn area town, I was like, oh, I know it. Egg's going to be like trailing him and like kind of sneaking behind him. And that's just like such an example of how like knights, they don't fight dirty the way like Bronn would like know if he was being tailed. But like this idiot Dunk is being tailed and he doesn't even know it. But that's not what happened. Egg actually got a ride on a lamb cart.
Yeah. Oh, Egg.
And he
so
really
cute and so cute. Let's just talk about him for a second. Adorable. So cute. Doing such a good job. Love him. Yes.
I mean, the maturity to play such a clearly layered character, because this character, the character of Egg, is very witty.
Yes.
I don't know how old he's supposed to be. Like, he's not a 5-year-old, but he's not a 15-year-old, like somewhere in between.
Right. And like I remember when they did the casting for the show, and they showed the actor like getting his head shaved. Like, it's not a bald cap. He literally shaved off all of his hair. And he was so like, so excited that he got to play this character. And they shaved his head for it. And it's just,
Well, I
it's,
saw in the interview, he's like, I don't know if I'm going to have a good bald shaped head. And honestly, I don't think he does.
yeah, he's got a good shape. That's a risky thing. Shaving your head.
Such a bulbous, like the rest of his head's bigger, I guess, because he's still growing into his head.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I
But he
guess
looks cute.
the child must have cancer, the character. I'm wondering. So he shows up to the camp, and when we first
also, they didn't have chemotherapy in fucking Westeros, I think.
Oh, that's right. People don't lose their hair from cancer just from having cancer. They lose their hair from chemotherapy. Thank you. It shows you how much cancer I've experienced. I'll cut that out. So the first time we see Egg, he's like, I could help you with your oats if I wanted to.
Right. Sassy.
But he's showing his worth here. He's like, oh, I cleaned that. I caught some fish. I cooked the fish. I set this up.
Yep.
You know, like he's just like kind of, like you said in our first episode, just really kind of forcing his way in. Like,
yeah. He's like, hello, I'm here, and you're going to take it.
But then he puts salt on the wound and goes, I would have put your pavilion up, but I couldn't find it. Trees
like, hello, it's the tree.
But I thought that was really cute. Is that right out of the book, the scene where he's like, you know, all of those other lords are on their tents and they can't see these shooting stars.
Yeah.
And
that he did point it out that they're not in the tent, and that is from the book for sure.
I love those moments, and those are really always the best moments in the shows when they're like word for word from the book. I mean, George knows what he's doing. Does that mean the luck is ours alone?
George does know what he's doing. Yeah.
So I feel like the only time I recall people looking at the stars in the Game of Thrones series is when it's like quiet moments between small folk or people like on the road.
Right.
Like when they're in the Red Keep, they're too busy to look at the stars.
Right. But Daenerys and Khal Drogo often, moon of my life, sun of my stars. No, moon of my life. The fuck is it?
Son of my stars, yeah.
Oh, I was right. Okay.
You just gave me chills.
Huh?
You just gave me chills.
Yeah, that they were like constant. That was a constant theme between them.
Anything important in Dothraki world happens under the stars.
Yes. Yep.
It's my favorite place to get it on.
8. So, but the rest of everybody else, they never really. That wasn't as much of a thing.
So one thing I didn't know, and we're going to talk about this more in our next segment, or maybe like a 1.2, where we can talk about just jousting, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of jousting. And we've only seen jousting in, the King's Tourney, or the Hand's Tourney in season 1 of Game of Thrones. And then also season 1 of House of Dragons, there's a tourney. And it's always just one episode and not even the whole focus of that episode.
Right. There was a tourney for Joffrey also, but the focus wasn't the tourney.
Oh, yeah. That was just like...
That was more of a Sansa...
it's more like our current president having a tourney for his birthday, and it's super official.
Right. Yeah, it's very...
It's my holiday now. But that I didn't know that when you lose your arms, armor, and horses, because they didn't even touch on that in Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon. Game of Thrones was more like the story was more about the mountain and his horse knowing that the other horse was in heat. You know what he gets up to?
Right. So that was more the focus of that, and then the mountain actually like killing his opponent. Because like, his horse was in heat. Who's gonna get and this? He knew his horse was in heat, so it messed up the other horse. Like that was the focus. So they didn't really talk about, because everyone was just dying. Like they were just killing in the tournament. So there wasn't really a discussion of, if I lose all my things.
True. I don't think it's always happens that way. It just happened in like, that's the parts that they showed. It's not always a fight to the death. Every tourney,
No, but in Game of Thrones, that was the focus of it,
the extreme
right?
versions.
And House of Dragon, the focus was they're having a tourney, but Rhaenyra's mom is dying
And
of
Damon's
childbirth.
coming in thinking he's like, the clear, obvious winner, and then this underdog, Kristen Cole, comes in.
Right.
So yeah, I'm curious. I think we're gonna learn a lot more about like the rules and stuff because it seems like this whole season is gonna focus a lot on the tourney.
Right.
So do you have any predictions, non-spoiler predictions that you want to share with like put your mind like in the mind of somebody who hasn't read the book, like, ooh, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna go ahead and say the puppeteer and Dunk are gonna have a thing because they had a little glance.
Like I said, she's going to set things in motion. That's all I can say. I can't give non-spoilery. I'm not good at separating. So
You're right. No, that's a hard thing to ask.
I
Well,
got nothing. You'll have to stay tuned.
you'll have to stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining us for our chat about A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yay!
All of the episodes are under an hour, but we can definitely find more than an hour's worth to talk about in our next episode of Fire and Wine, a
Fire and Wine
to Cosplay Queens. Love you, baby.
Love you. And we're continuing this for House of the Dragon, right? I feel like we need to continue.
That's what it's all about.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. I think
Love you guys.
for everything if we can. Bye. Love you. Okay, I just ended it. I have to go to the bathroom, so I'm definitely gonna